Hey 49er fans, I'm Thomas Mott. Welcome into Chat Sports, and today, more 49er camp standouts. The surprise camp standouts so far. Before we get started though, give me your best camp standout so far. I know you guys have been watching my coverage and other people's coverage. Which 49ers player has stood out the most to you? Let me know down below in the comment section. All right, so again, on today's video, we're obviously going to talk about standouts in training camps so far. And this is obviously what happens in training camps. We hear a lot about some people and not a lot about other people, but I wanted to do the surprise camp standouts. People I did not expect to be playing very well at this point in training camp, but are. Let's go ahead and start with number one, and that is Jerick Mckinnon. And we talked about Jerick Mckinnon last week on this show, but he continues to be an absolute stud so far in 49er training camp. This is exactly what the 49ers' dream scenario was whenever they signed Jerick Mckinnon. Now, they hoped it would have happened last year, but the fact he's eventually been able to get on the football field and perform so darn well since tearing the ACL in 2018 is very, very exciting. He's making big plays. He's fantastic in one-on-one coverages, fantastic in one-on-one opportunities against linebackers in coverage, and he's turning a ton of heads to the point that I think that he's probably going to be better than Tevin Coleman this year, and he's probably going to be the number 2 running back behind Raheem Mostert. Let me say that again. I think McKinnon, as I've hoped all offseason, is starting to actually kind of play off on the football field. I think he's going to go ahead and take over the number 2 spot for Tevin Coleman and be kind of that workhorse third down back, the guy who catches the football out of the backfield. And if you go back to the 2017 NFC title game, that Vikings-Eagles game in Philadelphia, the Vikings got killed in that game. That was actually the last time we saw Jerick McKinnon on the football field, which feels like forever ago, but he still had 10 carries for 40 yards, but 11 catches for 86 yards. And it's the catches out of the backfield, I think, that adds a whole new dynamic and a whole new dimension to the 49er offense. It's not that they couldn't, and not that Raheem Mostert or Tevin Coleman or Jeff Wilson Jr. were not catching the football in the backfield. They were, but this is the speciality of Jerick McKinnon, and it's showing up big time so far in training camp. There have been a lot of people very, very excited about what they've seen so far from the formerly injured but now healthy running back. Who do you guys think will be running back number 2? Let me know in the comment section down below. McKinnon or Coleman, type JM for Jerick McKinnon, type TC for Tevin Coleman. Okay, another player. We talked about him last week, but he continues to stand out to the point that this guy is going to make me change my opinion on him. Dante Pettis has been absolutely fantastic. And props to Dante Pettis for making the most out of just being able to get back on the football field while people are injured, right? There's injuries ahead of you in the depth chart, as there are at wide receiver 3 now, like the starting 3. People have to step up. And Dante Pettis is doing that. You got to remember, he's trying to earn back the trust of Kyle Shanahan. He was a healthy scratch. He was benched in the Super Bowl. Did not even suit up in Super Bowl 54. And the fact that he's completely changed in terms of his mindset, in terms of his playing ability. I think he's going to make this team. I am rooting for Dante Pettis big time. And tell you what, he's been playing very, very well. Here's Pettis on his mindset just a couple of days ago. Quote, "I allowed myself to be who I know I can be. Last year, I wasn't playing the way I know I could have. I know I was capable of more, and I wasn't allowing myself to do that. This year, the whole quarantine process really helped me. I think just being able to step away from everything, not have any distractions, and go one-on-one with myself." You got to remember, this is a guy who came into the National Football League and back in 2018 and had a fantastic early start, right? 27 catches, 5 touchdowns. He had that 75-yard touchdown catch. It was all uphill from there from what we thought it was going to be, and then he just couldn't get mentally right in terms of the confidence. And confidence is a big thing in the National Football League that people don't really want to talk about because, oh, you're in the NFL, so you should automatically have confidence. When you start dropping passes as a wide receiver and then you get benched for it and you get put in a football game and drop another pass, it's just really tough to go ahead and come back from. And so Pettis, it seems, has been able to do that and has looked really, really good so far, and it's a big surprise. I think I did a cut video like 2 months ago, and he was on my list of players who were going to be cut. Not anymore. He's making the football team. It's going to happen. Congratulations, Dante Pettis. He has been really, really good. Before we move on, the person throwing Pettis the ball in 2020 has his jersey on sale right now, and it's an unbelievable deal, and it's only for a limited time. So it's one of the Nike Legend jerseys. All right, there at chatsports.com/JimmyG, only $63.99. $63.99 for a brand new Nike official Legends jersey with Jimmy Garoppolo's name on the back of it. Again, limited time only. Link is down below in the description box. Pick one of those up right now. How about this? Someone I said was not practicing well last week. Oh, how the tides have turned. Solomon Thomas has had a really good now week and a half of practice to the point that people are talking about him. He's been standing out. And even though the expectations are very, very low, it seems like maybe this just might be the year for Solomon Thomas. Now, stop me if you heard that before. Wasn't last year supposed to be the year, and the year after that was, or the year before that was supposed to be the year? We've heard this before, so take everything I'm about to say about Solomon Thomas with a grain of salt. But everyone keeps saying he has been playing very, very well. Niners Nation had a great write-up on this in terms of the other day with saying, quote, without sounding hyperbolic, Solomon Thomas made a strong argument for the best player on the field today. He has a plan as a pass rusher and isn't running straight into guys hoping to win with athleticism. Thomas's hand usage has come a long way. Could that be attributed to his competition? So you got to remember, Solomon Thomas in college was a guy who just bowl over defenders. Like, he was so strong in his upper body and even his legs as well. He just run over that, college offensive lineman, that college guard, college center. Not the same way in the NFL. And maybe it's taken him too long, but maybe he's finally figured that out. A lot of high praise coming out of 49er training camp regarding Solomon Thomas. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm not going to say I'm sold, because again, I'm not reporting who's going to be a star this year. I'm just reporting who's played well so far in training camp. I will reserve my judgment for Solomon Thomas to the actual NFL games. But let me just say this. He's looked pretty darn good. That's exciting. Pretty darn good from the backup defensive tackle spot in San Francisco. Also, make sure you guys are subscribed before we get into what I would say is the biggest surprise so far this offseason. Click that big red subscribe button down below for the latest camp coverage, the breaking news, everything regarding the 49ers. You can find it here. This is the home, in my opinion, of the best 49er coverage on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe. Big red subscribe button down below. Final player here who's really been a surprise, and someone that I didn't think was going to be a surprise, and I was shocked, is Jason Verrett. Jason Verrett might be the starting cornerback opposite of Richard Sherman. And let me just say this. You have heard me say for months, and the entire offseason, that, it's going to be either Ahkello Witherspoon or Emmanuel Moseley. I say Emmanuel Moseley. And then last week or 2 weeks ago, they started Verrett at cornerback for the entire week. And I think I ripped it. I said, what are they doing, right? Start Witherspoon. He started in the playoffs. Start Moseley. He started in the postseason. He's the guy that they should play. And that's not been the case. They have really, really been impressed with what they've seen from Jason Verrett, a guy who injured his knee last year. He had that knee patella sprain that landed him on IR. He really has not had a chance to be on the football field in a couple of years. He's had the worst injury history that I can possibly remember from a cornerback, and yet right now, he has the number 2 cornerback spot locked up, barring some sort of poor play over the next couple of weeks before week 1. I've been shocked by his resurgence. It's absolutely blown me away. I wanted to save the best for last year, but this is just unbelievable what Jason Verrett has been able to do this offseason so far in 49er training camp. Niners Nation said this just the other day, quote, after joining the Chargers in 2014, that device recorded him at a high speed of 22.5 miles per hour in training camp. Verrett, one of 3 players competing for a 49er starting cornerback job, has clocked in at a speed of 22.2. Then we talk about speed here, and this is important because this was his big deal whenever he was joining the Chargers back in 2014. It was a speed corner. He could break on routes and make a ton of plays using his speed and athleticism. That is the big concern in terms of knee injuries. That speed drops off, just how it works whenever you have a lower body injury. That speed apparently is back, and is probably one of the main reasons why he's been playing so darn well so far in training camp. Before I show you, though, the big concern with Verrett, which is the injuries, who will start at cornerback 2? This has changed. I mean, I would have said Moseley just a couple of weeks ago, and yet now it might be Jason Verrett. Type M down below for Moseley, type W down below for Witherspoon, type V down below for Verrett. The only concern that you now have to have with Verrett going forward, which is why, Moseley and Witherspoon will eventually probably still get in there for some starting reps, even if they don't win out the starting job, is the injuries, right? 2019, he had the sprained knee. 2018, he had the torn Achilles. 2017, he had a shoulder and a knee. And in 2016, he had the torn ACL. 2015, a foot and groin. 2014, this guy has had so many injuries, it's just unreal that not only the speed is still there, but he's been able to work his way back, and much like Dante Pettis, for a different reason. Pettis was a mental thing. Verrett was a physical thing. Both of them are back on the football field, and both are playing very, very well. I'm fascinated to see how this plays out. There are a lot of players who obviously are playing well, but the surprise camp standouts are ones I wanted to get to you guys here. The big 4 here, of course, Jerick McKinnon, Dante Pettis, Solomon Thomas, and now Jason Verrett, all of which are going to be maybe making a bigger impact than a lot of us thought going into the 2020 NFL season. All the time we have for today here on the 49ers Report. I am Thomas Mott signing off for the rest of your day.